Welcome back to Javohn Wants to Know. And today I have a special guest on who is a music artist, and her name is Imara Amour. Imara Amour, how you doing? Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hi everyone, this is Imara Amour, Latin music artist, as well as model, songwriter, also actress. And yeah, I've been doing music for a little while now, so I'm excited to share that with you guys.
That's awesome. So I did hear you say writer, model, music artist, and right now you're more doing music. How did you transition from being a model into being a music artist, and what made you want to become a music artist?
Well, um, okay. First of all, music has always been in the family. By that I mean my dad and my mom. My dad was a music composer growing up, as well as a musician, also a songwriter. So I already grew up with that, and as my childhood. I feel like it's already in my blood because both of my parents really love music. Like I said, my dad actually does music until this day, and my mother, she's like the historian of the music. Like she loves music, going to concerts. She knows everything on music, all the genres, the artists. So I grew up with that with my mom, just hearing a lot of different music, not just Spanish music, but like just music that's very diverse and just different genres. So we always had music around the house. So that was something that was already in me, like in my blood, in my just personal life. When we will eat as a family, like we always have music in the room. Like my mom was that person that always sets the mood, like classical music for dinner, music for this. Like she's always the one that kind of just kept the music, just live through my life. And, just seeing my dad always, creating music growing up, to me, I thought that was like a natural, normal thing. Like my dad was that person that will bring his guitar everywhere we will go. Like it was a birthday party, he'll be there with the guitar, he'll start singing. Then it was a special birthday, Mother's Day, like it didn't matter. My dad was always around with music, just trying to make people smile. He will write songs to my mother when they were like before they got married. So he was always like, just like composing and just like sharing that music with everybody in the family and with the friends. And my dad had a lot of different friends that were like from different cultures all the time. So he brought those cultures in his music with, like he would work with different artists and stuff. Sometimes he will perform and we will go to his performances. So the music was definitely always already like in the family. So it was something that was very naturally to me. And I grew up with like just thinking that that's part of the life, like thinking that music is like, I've learned that music was to heal, music was to make people happy, to share the love as a child already. So that was something that was like always, just in me already. But with the whole modeling thing, also my
Mhm.
dad was also a photographer growing up, so he also had like his music stuff, but also will always carry a camera with him. So I got used to really like being in front of the camera all the time because my dad will always be taking photos and, like go over here, do a little photo shoot. My mom's always been the creative fashion designer that always wanted to kind of like, it's like I was their little doll. Like they will like just,
Yeah.
like they will have fun together with me. They'll be like, "Oh, let's do a photo shoot over here. Let's go to the, to this garden and then dress her up like this." And my mom will make me an outfit. My dad will go take photos, and then he'll bring his guitar, and then we'll just have like a thing. You know what I mean? So it was like it was always so much creativity going on in my life as a kid already. So I just kind of grew up with that, and that really gave me the opportunity to kind of like really just follow that, like wanting to do photos, wanting to, like be in front of the camera, wanting to hear music. So, that's when as I got older, um, I'm an only child, by the way, so my
Okay.
parents were always very involved and getting me around like artistically. So I always by that I mean like they will always put me in like in plays and like dance and like trying to learn instruments, anything that's artistic. like they will put me in that category always as like, just for me to be, active with, just learning to be more creative as I get older. So that was something that was really cool growing up as a child. Like I really had a lot of fun just being always creating. Like it was part of the lifestyle of, in my circle as in like in my family. So that really just just kind of like raised me to be that way already. And
Okay.
um so yeah, so as
You really had a lot of, creative influence from your family and stuff, going from
yeah.
modeling and now you're into music. What type of music do you do?
So going back to what you had said earlier about the whole modeling, I do want to mention something because in my modeling career, where I started modeling, obviously I met a lot of people, which was a really fun industry. Like I still do modeling until this day, not as much because I've been really busy with my music, but like I still love fashion. Like I said, my mom raised me with the fashion. My mom does a lot of outfits. She's always creating clothes and like stuff for me because now with my music, she's like my personal designer. She really like, visualizes and, like dresses me up and, does outfits for me. But um being in that industry, I met a lot of people, um, which really opened doors for me, not just in the modeling industry, but that's how my music career started because that's where I met my producer, which is a very special person to me because, I am here where I am now in my music career because of him, because we met through modeling. And, that's how we were able to, like, we both share that, he had, already experience in producing, like, he's also has been a music artist and still is, and then produces music. And we just kind of like started just really getting along very well, just sharing things about music. And it just kind of like went from there. Like it's
Hmm.
history now because it's just been so much like creativity in the process. Started with just like like us creating something where like now it's like big. We came to like very far now in my career with music with him, and I'm very happy to still have him as part of my in my music, as part of the team. Like now I'm in his team. And but all that happened due through modeling. So that was a very like important like thing that happened in my
Like
life
a
during that
pivot for
time.
you.
Correct. Yeah. So like that was just huge for me because like I finally had the tools to really like, start that process that I always had inside me that I always wanted to do. And like maybe I could have, asked my parents to help me with that, but I just like also wanted to like it just happened at the right time, you know what I mean? The right moments. And like, I just always feel like it was something that was always in my heart that I really wanted to do. And, I'm just happy that it happened that way with my producer because we understand each other so well. Like we both have kind of like similar ears, like where we like understand the sounds, like we create together. And, I like the fact that we're more very diverse with like the sounds because like I love having classical music. I love classical music. So like if you hear my music, like whether it's hip hop, whether it's like urban dance, whatever, there's still like those like classical like notes in there that we
Hmm.
both like. And I feel like that's why we have been coming this far in my career because we like work very well as a team.
Nice. That's good to hear. Now,
Hmm.
speaking of music, I'm sure you want to achieve some kind of success. So tell me, I want to know, what is success to you?
Well, success in the music industry, I mean, I feel very successful already. Obviously I'm still I'm still not where I want to be, but like um I'm very happy to like where I'm at because like I kind of I started from scratch, with everything. So just like uh being where I'm at, like having a lot of opportunities that have come my way, and just like being where I'm at right now, like I'm very happy already and very successful as a, as just an artist. Um, but to me, like being very successful is just like I want to be performing in like bigger stages. Obviously, I want to be
Hmm.
like performing in like I want to go on a tour with my, like with my actual, music team. And like I want to be opening for bigger artists. I want to, be able to perform at Coachella one day. Just like I want my song to be in a movie. Like that's always our goal with my producer. Like we want to do like a songs for like films, like something like. So to me, like success is, I feel like I don't know what that is yet. You know what I mean? Because I'm still like learning as I go. I'm like achieving like things day by day, taking things day by day. So like, but for me, I feel like when I feel like, oh my God, like we got this far, it's when we get to those level where we're actually performing like in huge places, and I have my own tour where we're actually like really really like selling out and stuff, in arenas and stuff like that. But I know that we're gonna get that far. I know I'm gonna get that far, and you know what I mean. But like as in now, I'm still very satisfied where I'm at because I want to learn everything, so it's like I really learned in the music career, like it takes time, it takes a lot of dedication, and just being happy about being where I'm at and learning and understanding now like the business sides and every all the sides from it, because it's not just about creating music. Like I feel very successful already, honestly.
That's awesome. Yeah, great encouragement right there. And I see that you have a good plan for what you want for your music career.
Yeah.
Now, how do you handle people who kind of act a little weird when they see that you're gaining this type of success?
um I just try to be very lovable with everybody.
Okay.
I try to, I'm a person that, I like to just share my love with people, even if, they don't like my success, even if they're trying to get in the way. There's haters, whatever the situation is of awkwardness or weird. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever people think, I still try to approach them and just, share my love to them, be nice, and just, I don't know. Sometimes people like misunderstand you, like they see you on social media, they see
Hmm.
you're out, they see you're on events, they see you like really being all over the place, So like a lot of people, they don't know how to approach you sometimes after, like once they, obviously they met you before, but sometimes they don't know how to approach you. They don't know how to uh, come across you because they think that probably you've changed the
So
way you
so
are,
so
you know?
does that happen often? People
Yes.
look at social media and will judge a person from or the music artist from their social media, and when they meet them, they have these already preconceived, notions of that person. That happens to you?
It has happened to me where they're like, "Oh, like you're always like doing this and that. I don't know if like to even talk to you like this and that, or like I don't know what you're about now." And I'm just like I feel like I'm still the same person. Obviously, like yes, I'm thankfully thank you to God, like I've been thriving and stuff. But like I do feel that sometimes I do get uh you know very judgmental by people just by like my social medias, or like say I meet like a guy or anything like that, like that they don't know nothing about me yet, like they don't know I'm a music artist, they don't know anything. Like they tend to like, oh, okay, like we have a good conversation, then they see my social media and then they kind of just like back away, you know what I mean? So like, and it doesn't have to be a guy, it could be just anybody. It's just an example, but I'm just saying like it has happened to me that I'm just like, oh, like, I'm still a human.
What sets you apart from other music artists?
mm. um I think that what sets me apart as, well, I feel like this generation right now, like the genre is very set, as in like there's like the hip hop artists or like whatever genre you're doing. I feel like there's not a lot of like Spanglish like style, like kind of like what I do. So I feel like as in my genre is very different. I don't feel like I have an actual genre because I have like a lot of mix of, my music's very diverse. So I can say that a little bit of my sound, it's a little bit different than other artists, but again, I just haven't come across some of the artists that are similar to me. But I honestly feel like all like all artists are very similar in a way because we all kind of have the same goal. We all have the same thrive and like, the same dreams. Obviously everybody has a different way of doing it, but I don't know. I haven't met another Imara Amour in person in general, so I would say that, I wouldn't, I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't know how to really answer your question because I feel like we all are very different, but very same at the same time. Like all the artists that I have met, that I have come across, that I'm like, I'm inspired by a lot of big artists now. Like we all have that same story of like getting there to be an artist, but we're also very different. Like, we're all very different as like our creativity and stuff. So
Yeah.
I would say that, like, like I said, I think my sound of music, it's a little different. I really haven't met anybody else that has the same sound as me. Like I don't like it's very hard to really be like, oh, Imara is kind of like this artist, or like compare me to certain artists. I really haven't had anybody really like, oh, I haven't really found somebody that I can say that, you're like, you know what I mean? I haven't really had
Yeah.
that someone said that to me or anything like that. So I guess, yeah, I do have my own sound, and I mean, I stick with that because I haven't really met anybody else that has similar music to what I do, and like, with my producer and stuff. So I would say my sound for sure, it's what, stands me out a little bit from other artists because I could make music how, follow other artists that are making the music now, follow those genres are like very trending, but you know, that's not what I'm about. I'm about just being myself and creating my own style. And me and my producer work very well with that. He knows me very well, so in the team. So I would definitely say that probably my sound is what stands me out from other artists just because I haven't really heard my sound anywhere else yet.
You have a very unique sound that's different than anything I've ever heard. So, if you guys definitely get a chance, go check out Amara Moore and listen to her songs. You will see she's created a very unique sound. And that's, to me, I've realized with a lot of music artists, it's very hard for them to create their own lane,
Mhm.
because we are also all inspired from each other, especially the super big stars. And a lot of
Right.
people do take on what they hear or see from those and then just like recreate it. But it's not really their talent, or their sound, but you definitely have a sound of your own. So I commend that. Now, how do you balance your career and your dreams?
Um, well, definitely with dedication and discipline. It's hard. There's times where, I have times where, we all fall a little bit, but I'm very good at like reminding myself very quickly to get up, so I have a really good support system. By that I mean my mom. My mom's really, really, really good on having me on check. She's very person that's she's very involved in my career and obviously in my personal life because like I said, I'm an only child. So my mom's really good at just being there for me, and that helps me to always kind of have a balance of my own and be just very consistent with myself, just like always remind myself, I pray a lot. So I feel like that really helps me to balance my personal with my career because whenever I feel any type of way, whether I'm sad, depressed, or which honestly it doesn't really happen that often. Like I'm really happy to say, like I really don't have those moments. I've every day I feel like I always wake up in a good mood and just try to keep it going and stuff. So I don't really have those moments, anymore. But I will say that praying really helps me to balance myself because whenever I am feeling unbalanced, I pray a lot. I go to church if I have to. If not, to me, God is everywhere. So I feel like I can pray anywhere and I can just have that moment with God. And whenever I do have that moment, that's when I calm down, I settle, I remind myself, like I go back to being me and I just go back to, just doing, just being myself again. So it's just kind of like a wake up call whenever I have to go through those things. But thankfully I haven't got to that moment where I feel
Hmm.
like that low or like unbalanced, for me to really go out of my way. But I will say that definitely, like I said, my mom just a big support in my life and my career, and just being myself with, just being true to myself, and just like really trying to understand, like, okay, Mara, like, this is what you got, like, we're gonna keep moving forward. Like, I talk to myself a lot. That's probably another thing. Like, I talk to
Okay.
myself, like I said, I'm an only child, so if you're an only child, you understand this. Like, I'm sure with
Not
other
me. I'm
people
not
that
the
are not
only
an only
child.
child either, but you grow up more like just like talking to yourself all the time, because that's, you're always in competition with yourself. That's what I've learned as
Okay.
an only child. Like, like I don't obviously I don't have a brother or sister, or like, no one to look up to me, or me to look, up to somebody, like, only my parents. But so I just always like motivate myself, talk to myself, like, okay, Mara, we're doing this today, so I'm like my own cheerleader sometimes. So just just those type of things, that just really help me to just get by and like balance my life, my lifestyle that I have, as an artist.
Very nice. Now, in your quest to become the superstar that you are, um, what is your process, or how do you decide what type of man to date?
That's so funny. Um, well, I honestly don't really think about that. Like, I really don't think about dating at all. I have a very busy life, thankfully, in a good way. So I really don't have time. I haven't had time. Like, honestly, I just been really dedicated with myself and my music. Like, people ask me a lot, and I always say like, oh, I'm in a relationship with my music, because I say
Hmm.
like I give all my time. I'm like faithful, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to put in time, and like, I still have to like, take care of myself and just like be loyal, like, all the things that you like do in a relationship. I'm like, I do it with my music, so I feel like I'm always just in like, you know what I mean? Like, not in that zone, but I dedicate myself so much to my music that I haven't really like, had the time to think about that or think about dating and stuff. But I would probably say that someone that just accepts me for who I am, like truly understands who I am as a person, and understands my dreams, like, understands my music career, and like I said, just fully accepts me, because a lot of people, like, they like you as a person, but they don't want to have you as a music artist. They don't like that attention, this and that. So just somebody that could really just accept me, and that is also very confident, because I feel like in the industry you want somebody that's confident, because there's you as an artist, you start to already adapt to like negativity. You start to adapt to like all the bad, the people coming at you with like bad things to say about you and stuff like that. So we as artists, I feel like, while he's me so far, I feel like I already like it doesn't affect me, you know what I mean, as
Yeah.
much as maybe somebody else that's barely coming in. So I would say that meeting somebody that's really confident and just like real understanding who I am and what I'm about, and what's gonna, the in and outs of what's gonna happen, and and the
Okay.
lifestyle that we have together, if that ever becomes a thing. And somebody that's just very honest, because I am a very honest person. Like, I am too honest sometimes. So I need somebody to kind of do the same for me, and just, to me, honesty is like everything. So even if it's something bad, like, I feel like you should still be honest and say it. So just really, just someone that has an open heart, because I'm all about
Hmm.
like love. I'm all about,
I
just,
see you have love up there on
yeah.
the wall back there.
There you go. Yeah, it's just spreading love. I mean, my name is, Imara Amour, which is Imara Love. So, that's my whole brand already. It's just like sharing my love. I always grew up with a lot of love. So I just always been that person that wants to share that with everybody. So I feel like my partner has to be like, the same, like, just very
Hmm.
lovable and just very open hearted, because I'm a very friendly person. Like, I love everyone, so I have to have somebody that's kind of like, if not the same, at least try to understand, you know what I mean, that I am that person, to be very friendly, to be very lovable. So
That's nice.
someone that's strong with me, and just, you know, that's nice. That's a good person.
Yeah, very, very nice, very nice. Now, what is one misconception about you?
A lot of people say that I'm bougie. I've heard a lot of people tell me that, which I think it's hilarious. They say that a lot, and I mean, I don't know. Obviously in the music, like, as artists, sometimes we could be a little extra, with ourselves. But I feel like once you get to know me, I'm like super. I'm very, very humble. I'm very like just down to earth,
Okay.
and I'm very simple. Like I am a very simple person. Like yes, I do like dressing up extra and like whatever they think of me, but I think I'm a very humble person and just a very down to earth and like I'm I'm just still I'm a human at the end of the day still, so I'm just like I'm simple. I like simple things, So
Okay.
that's probably one of the things that a lot of people always approach me like, "Okay, girl, like you're, this and that or like, you like this and blah blah blah, like you drink champagne." Like I love champagne, but a lot of people always have right away have that like, um, you know, they right away they think that about me, like, oh, you're this type of person, where
Oh,
I'm
okay,
like,
like
no,
popping
like
bottles
once they,
type.
yeah, exactly. But once they talk to me, like, oh, okay, like actually, you're a really chill person, like you're super cool, like, yeah, you know what I mean. So I'll probably say that that's probably one of the things that, I think is kind of funny.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, now who would you perform with if you could choose? Like anybody, music artist, who would you love to be on the big stage with?
Ooh, I mean, it's hard because a lot of the big artists, I mean, there's so many amazing artists out there, so it's really hard to say. And a lot of amazing artists that like I'm like, "Oh my God, I wish I would have done this." They obviously they're not here like Michael Jackson, Selena, like those type of legends, but as in
Mhm.
now, well, as woman, I will probably say um it's just like there's so many, it's hard to say, honestly. Um
Gotta pick
well,
one.
Well, Daddy Yankee, I love Daddy Yankee, but Pitbull, I feel like he's like I always love Pitbull is the one like he's bald, he has the glasses always.
Oh, okay,
He's
yeah,
like
wear the suits.
with the suits.
Yeah.
Yes, him. Like I love him, like his music, his vibe. He's always very positive. You know what I mean? So I would love to share a stage with him, like I've done a lot of songs that are kind of like party vibe, and I feel like like I would love to share a stage with him and just kind of have that same energy. Like I feel like we have that same energy going, with the
Nice.
music. Yeah.
Nice. I can see that. Now, what advice would you give a person who wants to become a music artist?
um Definitely don't ever give up in your dreams. Make sure that you always believe in yourself and just don't ever give up, and don't let anybody try to put you down, to take those dreams away from you, tell you that you cannot do it. You could do it. Everything is possible in this world, and just believe in yourself.
Who is your
Okay.
favorite music artist and who is your least favorite and why?
um I mean, I don't know, like I feel like the best artist is like Michael Jackson for me,
Oh, yeah, I
you
agree.
know?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I just feel like Yeah, I just feel like he just had it all. He had it all, and
He also
I
made,
feel
he also was the person that did it first. Everything
exactly,
anyone does,
exactly. He's
if
a
you
he's a
really look
true
him up, he
legend.
did it
He is
first.
the one. He's number one. So
Yeah,
I would say that the best artist. I mean, as much as there's a million, other artists out there, but I have to give props to Michael Jackson. Like I think he's like the best.
okay. And your worst?
Honestly, like we're in a new generation where a lot of songs are just like doo 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 doo. Like sometimes you don't understand what some artists be saying, and they just like people be loving those songs, But sometimes
Okay,
I'm just like,
so
what are they saying? Like I haven't understand. I'm like trying to
so
like not
pretty
say
much
nobody's
artists who
name.
don't you can't relate to that you don't understand. We'll just leave it right there, right?
Yeah, we'll leave it right there, because I appreciate every artist. Like, trust me, like it's hard. It's the music industry. It's hard. So I give props to everybody,
So
especially
you
the
like
ones
JJ
that
Fish?
do it
Remember
big.
JJ Fish?
Sing a song. Sing something, sing a lyric. I don't remember. I don't
JJ,
remember.
I'm being funny, but JJ Fish was this internet phenomenon a little bit back, and he was singing like he made these weird
Oh,
sounds.
and you wouldn't understand what he's saying?
You wouldn't understand, but he got really famous for a minute.
I'm telling you, there's those artists and they like really hit, like they really be making those hit songs. But you're just like, I like you go back to the lyrics and you're like, oh, that's what he was saying or she was saying, and it's just funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, some artists I'm just like, what? Like, I mean, I know I have an accent sometimes and I'm like, like pronunciation, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't understand anything they're saying.
About to test you. Now,
Okay.
would you rather become the biggest movie star or the biggest music star?
Ooh, that is a hard one because, I've done acting myself, so I know
Okay.
the movie industry is like the acting industry is a whole vibe. Um, I will probably stick with like being a music artist.
Hmm.
Yeah. Just because I feel like you have a little more freedom and as a music artist, you don't have to really change who you are. Like who you are is what makes you a music artist. So I will probably say that just because acting, you always like, a lot of actors like obviously they always have to be somebody else,
Yeah,
in the roles. Like you have to be somebody else. So like a lot of people don't truly know how the actors truly are as a person.
true.
So I feel like as a music artist, you have a little more freedom of being who you are. Like I said, who you are is what makes you a music artist. Like you have freedom of how like your style, like things you can say, as in like in your songs. You have a little more control. I mean, I feel so far in my career, but the acting, like respect to actors, like it's hard. It's really hard. Like being an actor, like it's a hard thing, a
Yeah.
100%. So I will probably stick to music.
Okay. For me, that's kind of a tricky question on purpose. I really do think that music artists are somewhat characters as well. It's like
Oh,
when
100%.
when we
Yeah.
get into that creative field like that, we have to
Yeah.
become,
Well, yeah, we have to
that.
act ourselves, like in our music videos and stuff. But see, I feel like that comes from a little more from us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Well, obviously, if you have a team that, like, like we mentioned earlier, like there is those artists that they have a team where like they have to do what the team says. You know what I mean? So, but I still feel like, yeah, it's very similar because like we still have to come into character, and be an artist at the end of the day. So it is a tricky question, but I will still stick to music.
Nice. Now, I kind of think I know your answer to this next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's more
Okay.
important to you, love or respect?
Oh, that's a hard one right there. That's a hard question. I mean, they're both so important, like super important. I would probably stick to love,
Hmm.
I would probably say love, because I feel like with love you do get respect. Um, I mean, in certain situations, depending what the situation is, but
All
uh
right.
but I don't know. For me, love is like I love very deep, and like I said, my whole brand is about love. Like I was raised with love. I was like, love is everything, growing up. So, um, I feel like as much as you love a person, sometimes they don't respect you, and sometimes they do respect you. So it's a tricky one for me. I don't know. I will probably still stick with love just because I am a very lovable person. Like I could not imagine myself being without love, and not being like that, just being like, I respect you, but I'm not gonna show you anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I just my whole thing is love, so I'm gonna stick with love.
Okay, and that's
Yeah.
good because that's who you are. And
Yeah.
that is a very tough question for people because some might say that, they'll rather be respected because, love is comes and goes or it's not real sometimes. And some people might say, I'd rather have love because, love is going to create the respect. So it's
Yeah.
definitely kind of
That's how I
intertwined in a
feel.
way,
Yeah.
but it's very
If
hard.
you do it right, yeah, if you do it right, like the love is strong and it's there, like they're gonna respect you
Yeah.
because they feel the love and they're giving you the love back. So I always see people as like, you want to treat them how you want to get treated. So I feel like to me when I try to be a good person and just, share the love with others. Like I feel like I always kind of get it back, I always get that love back, but yeah, it's hard, some people don't, like you said, don't believe in love like that. So they,
Mhm.
feel like respect is more important, but I believe in love. So I will, 100% say love for me.
Nice. Now, how do you find inspiration when things are not going the way you planned them to?
Grounding myself first, like, just making myself um come back to just being grounded and like praying and you know I like to be outdoors a lot. So like I like to go and like sometimes I go into the beach and I just take my little notebook and then I just sit there and like, I have all these thoughts and then, like, I start feeling more calm and then I just come back to like, oh, like wanting to create something. But I think that in the creative process for me, like I feel like your experiences is what inspires you to create something, So like whether I'm going through something bad, whether I'm going through like, heartbreak or, just sad or whatever the situation is, like I feel like I am a person to always try to turn that into a creativity, whether I make something about it or not, like I still will write about it. So inspiring myself, it's not hard because I always have so much in me that I'm trying to create. So I don't really have that problem, but um like I said, I'll like just being in nature, just being like somewhere where like I feel just calm and happy, like really brings me back to like, okay, like, getting inspired again. But I don't really have that problem. I feel like I'm very inspired by everything. Like I feel like, I'm just happy to be alive in general. And I always find inspiration in my everyday life and my everyday experiences, whether it's something simple or big. Like I'm always very inspired by, just life in general.
Nice. Now I want to know this. What would you tell someone like why they shouldn't become a music artist?
Mm. Well, it's definitely hard. I would say that, well, there's a few things. I would say definitely like make sure you have make sure you have a budget, to start, or a support system, because it's going to be hard to do it on your own. So if you feel like you don't have that, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying like it's going to be harder, because, like the music industry, like, you have to invest a lot in yourself. So you have to really, have a support system, or, like really try to like have your savings and, like something to start with, because it is expensive, as you start the process. But I will probably say like also like um, it's hard because, a lot of stuff is like a lot of contracts involved, and like if you don't know anything about that, then don't do it, because, then you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna need to get yourself out of those contracts, and it's really, really hard. Sometimes it takes time, like years, sometimes it takes months, depending what the contracts are. So I will probably say like don't do it if you don't know like the business side of it yet,
Hmm.
because that's gonna get you into a lot of problems. And I'm sure this is this with a lot of other stuff, but like in the music, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of contracts involved. It's a lot of people are trying to just snatch you left to right and just try to like, there's a lot of bad people in the industry, just like there is in anything else. But I feel like the music, a lot of people take advantage of um your dreams, your innocence, and not you knowing the knowledge behind the business part. So I will probably say like if you don't know anything about that yet, like don't even try it, because it's like don't get yourself involved in something that you don't know. Like it's gonna be really hard to get out of it. And that's probably one of the main things, like
Hmm.
I said, like a lot of people, like, I'm sure there's some people are very blessed that like, that don't have a budget or anything, and they just like their talent is so good that they get, they get big right away with just their talent because they get discovered. But some people don't have that, and you really have to work hard. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's also, it's something that doesn't happen overnight, but it also can. So it's just like It's never guaranteed, I guess I can say. Like it's never guaranteed of how far you're gonna get yet, because some people have been doing music for a long time but don't blow up until later, so
Yeah,
it's something that you really have to think about, like, is this what you want, like, is this what you want to do? Because like it's hard to work a full-time job and still do your music, you know what I mean? It's hard to still live a regular life and pay all your bills and then like put money for your music, so like that's why I mean by like being prepared, having a team, or like financially be stable, because it is a lot of work. But I will probably say like the business part, if you don't really understand it, like don't get into it yet, because
yeah.
it's for the best. It's for the best for you not to get involved and get trapped, because that could happen. And it has happened to a lot of people. It has happened, like I've experienced something like that. So like it's just like don't do it if you don't really know what's about, you know?
I agree. And I want to add to that, I think that people shouldn't get into music, becoming a music artist,
Yeah.
one, if their goal is to become famous,
Yeah.
because that is a lottery.
Yeah.
And then the other, I agree with you as far as knowing that it's a business. And this is what I realized that a lot of people who become music artists don't understand is the business
Yeah.
of music is when you're a music artist, the majority of music artists are actually the the client to music. So let's think of like
Correct.
McDonald's sells burgers, right? Now, people that go to McDonald's, they can make burgers too at their house, right? But they
Right.
go to McDonald's to buy burgers.
Right.
So music artists, when they become music artists, they're buying a lot of things in the music business. And that's where I think the disconnect is because, you're buying studio time, you're paying for producers, you may be paying for writers, you're paying for outfits, you're paying for,
Exactly.
your social media stuff, you're paying for marketing. You're really buying things that's in the music business. So a lot of people
Exactly.
don't understand the music business. There's people who actually do business and their clients are music artists. So
Yeah, exactly.
if you if you don't have a plan that music can promote you to make money in the music business, and I'm not talking about from your music, then you shouldn't do music. You should have a plan that to use music as a platform to bring some type of attention to what you do in music business.
Mm.
Like if you play an instrument, now you can go get hired to play that instrument on music artist
Yeah,
songs.
it's with music
But a
artists.
music
Yeah,
artist is
exactly.
paying you for your business of music. So that's where a misconception is, and a lot of people don't get that and don't learn that is that when they hear, oh, music is a business, they don't understand. Yeah, it's a business that you're paying all the time if you're an artist. You
Exactly.
have to
And
grow
that's
up
what
into
that's what I meant by like being financially stable. Like you
it.
like is not just something, like I said, you can be the best, singer, the best music artist, whatever you're bringing to the table. You could be the best at it, but if you don't understand the business side, if you're not putting into your creativity, you're not investing in your music, investing with other people, like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna get as far as you want it to be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like you said, that's very important. Like, are you doing it for fame, or are you doing it because you just love it? You know what I mean? So that's like you said, that is a thing. Like that really is, because that's you're gonna be living two different worlds. You're gonna be
Right.
living two different worlds, and not saying that neither of them are good or neither of them are bad, but it's just you're gonna go through a different path. If that's your motivation of just fame, it's gonna be, obviously you want fame at some point, because obviously you want to make money of your music, but you just can't have that in your mentality. You
Yeah.
can't just be like, I want to be famous, I'm gonna do this for fame. Like, no. Like, if you like true artists, like you're a true artist from day one. Like, it's already in your soul, it's already in your blood, like it's already in your life, in your motivation. Like, so that's a really good point that you said, that it's a lot of people do it for those type of reasons.
I want to know this. If you had a time machine and you can fly back to the past to little Amara Amour, um, and
Oh,
tell her, something that can help her that will help you now. What would you say?
that it's okay to be different, that it's okay to be yourself and to not care what anybody thinks.
Hmm.
Just don't care about what anybody thinks about you. You keep doing you. Don't lose your dreams and just take things day by day. Take it day by day.
I'm going to leave the floor open to you. And right now, you can do like shout outs or anything like that. You can, tell us about your latest projects and tell everyone how they can contact you and find you and hear your music. The floor is yours.
Hey, thank you. Well, Imara Amour. You can check me out in all platforms. That's Imara Amour. Shout out to you, Javohn, for having me on the interview. To my producer, to creatives for just getting me and getting me this far in the music. They're always been very supportive of my team. Shout out to my mom's. Shout out to her because she is the one that has made it happen. My dad and just yeah, man, like go check me out. You can find my latest single. I dropped two latest singles, so one of them is Sinti. That's me. It's we dropped the whole music video, which was really cool. We have uh, uh, Sean Valentino, which he is also actor and producer, movie film producer, and it's funny because I always come out in his films, but this time he came out on mine, so it was really cool to kind of have that other side, just kind of like turn that around and have him in my music video was really cool to work with, and it was just an amazing music video. You guys got to check it out. But we also dropped another song which is called Make It Happen with artist Ali Slay. Shout out to her. And then my producer, which also produced that song too as well. And it's been doing really good. It's a very powerful and just motivational song for all the ladies, for anybody that just, you know, it's a go-getter and that makes it happen every day.
Hmm.
So it's a really cool song. It's a dance song, so it's kind of like an EDM type of style. But yeah, it's
Oh,
really cool.
nice.
So go check it out. Cinti, make it happen. I have a lot of other projects coming soon that I'm very excited to share with you guys. So yeah, go check me out. Mwah.
Tune in, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Keep them comments coming too. Have questions for me to ask on the next episode.